Nice to see you.
Same. Try to chat with you guys. This is Tomodar with Comic Speed, chatting with Pinky and the Brain themselves. How you guys doing?
Yes. Hello, we're doing very well. Thank you. Now that you're here, Timer, we're very excited.
Yes.
So a few years ago, I watched the Laurel. There was a Laurel and Hardy biofilm that detailed their final performances and how after Hardy's health prevented him from performing, Laurel just refused to perform with anyone else. It just reminded me with Rob your throat cancer issues a few years ago, and how not just Mo but the rest of the ANIMANIACS cast, they didn't want to reprise their roles if you couldn't do it. So I was wondering if you could talk about how your own friendships have transcended a mere working relationships.
My goodness, your timing is so impeccable. Thank you very much for asking that question. And I love it when people bring up my throat cancer, because it really is a great example of all of us being in this together, especially with respect to our, Maurice and me and Tress and Jess. In fact, when we knew that Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs were going to be coming back, the first thing that crossed my mind was not so much about, oh, poor me. It was that, wow, you know what? If I can't do this, I reckon they're not going to do it at all. That was not the way it was stated, but I had not told a bunch of people about my particular issue with throat cancer, except Mo, Tress, Jess, Sam Register at Warner Brothers, and Randy Rogel, and maybe two or three others. It was not something that I was going to blast out because it was a personal issue that we had to deal with. But there was no way that the chemistry would have been the same were any one of us not part of the circumstance.
Same here. I mean, when Rob, was dealing with the cancer, and there was a thought that perhaps this thing might come back. I just thought to myself, I don't want to work with some impressionist. I don't want to work with some guy doing Rob's voice, or trying to, because it's so much more than a voice. It's a soul. This character has a soul and a spirit, and that is what Brain responds to. So, unless an actor on the level of Anthony Hopkins does a good Pinky impression, I don't think I would have wanted to do it. So Rob's recovery was, good news to the world in so many ways.
It was a big deal, not only to get a chance to do this show again, but as you can imagine, Timer, to be able to do this show and have it become a success again. And here we are talking with you about season 2. And I don't think that it's hyperbole to suggest that the first season was a pretty much unqualified success. After my cancer, I speak for a living, and this is where I become speechless. I don't know how to tell you how powerful this is for me. And I didn't want people to say, wow, he sounds pretty good for a guy who had throat cancer. I don't even want it to be an issue. I'm glad you brought it up because it's important to speak about it in this context. But I want people to say, God, Pinky and the Brain sound great. They sound just like they used to sound, and maybe even better. And so to be able to do it after all of that, what a gift. What a gift, my friend. It's just impossible to quantify.
So filling in the shoes for the now retired voice director, Andrea Romano, is Sarah Sherman.
Yes.
Cheryl started
now Emmy-winning Sarah Sherman. Yes.
Yes.
She's really hit the ground running. I know she started in town coordination, casting, and she's on fire right now.
Amen.
So, I'm curious, what can you describe what she brings to the table as the voice director?
Well, apart from just herding kittens, which it can be with us, She's wonderful. She gets the characters. She really understands the characters. And at first, I think she might have been a little taken back with how much goofing around we do in between takes and that type of thing. And you know, but she gradually she saw, oh, that's where the playfulness comes from. That's where they need to do that to bring it to the characters themselves. And it only took her, I think, 2 or 3 episodes to get that. That's what we do. We're the misbehaviors and we're the disruptors of the class. And she just kind of lets us go, but then brings us back, but lets us do that and really understands where these characters are coming from. So she's a privilege to work with, and she deserves that Emmy that she won for our show. Yes. 110%. Without
question. She also was, I think, understandably a little bit nervous and a little bit scared by her own admission, because she had some pretty large shoes to fill in Andrea's. And Andrea, I think, has won half a dozen Emmys for her directing on Animaniacs and Pinky the Brain and Batman and SpongeBob. I mean, good Lord, all the stuff that Andrea has done with her legendary career. And Sarah, if were I in her shoes, I would have been a little bit scared too. But man, has she risen to the occasion and surpassed it. She's done, as Mo said, she deserves her Emmy. It was not an accident. She's so smart, and she's her suggestions are always spot on, and she couches them in such a lovely way. She'll say, I'm not sure, but would you guys think you could make, how about this? Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, no, she's come up with some wonderful ideas.
Great.
And even some that have,
kind of better.
Yeah, that have shifted the prism a little bit on where the episode, is going, or at least where we were going as actors within the episode.
Yep.
So, which is a great director's, a gift.
Mutual admiration, for sure.
Rob, Mo, it's been an immense pleasure. Always enjoyed talking to you guys.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good to see you. Take care.